Hey guys, happy Wednesday. I hope you guys are doing well. Thank you so much for tuning in for our Wednesday devotionals. The last few weeks, we have been focusing a lot on the Gospel of Matthew, and I have basically been doing a little bit of a review for each week with what I've been going over with my middle schoolers and my high schoolers for our Matthew Bible study. Today's going to be a little bit different. I have had something really speak to me about our Bible lesson for this week, and I'm just going to share that portion with you guys tonight. We are in chapter 5 of course, the Gospel of Matthew, and we are going to focus on verse 21 all the way through verse 30. To begin with, I'm just going to read verse 21 through 26, and then we're going to stop there and kind of dissect it and talk about it a little bit. But before we do that, I just want to explain a little bit of where we are and what's going on. Gospel of Matthew, we are talking about chapter 5, which is the beginning of the Sermon on the Mount. So Jesus here has a huge crowd following him, of course. I mean, come on. And he has gone up the mountain, and he is speaking to his disciples and then to the crowds and teaching them about the different lessons and things to implement into their life as new Christians. The crowds, the disciples, are looking for help with their lifestyle and their identity. This is all new to them. Following Christ is new to them. All these new rules and regulations, so to speak. It's all very new. So what we are going to look at is the section where Jesus is trying to explain a couple of things and help us out with how we are supposed to be living. So we're going to dive in. That's just a little background. We're still in the Sermon on the Mount, chapter 5, 21 through 26. Let's go ahead and read that, and then I will explain it. You have heard that it was said to those of ancient times, "You shall not murder, and whoever murders shall be liable to judgment. But I say to you that if you are angry with a brother or sister, you will be liable to judgment. And if you insult a brother or sister, you will be liable to the council. And if you say, 'You fool,' you will be liable to the hell of fire. So when you are offering your gift at the altar, if you remember that your brother or sister has something against you, leave your gift there before the altar and go. First be reconciled to your brother and sister, and then come and offer your gift. Come to terms quickly with your accuser while you are on the way to court with him, or your accuser may hand you over to the judge, and the judge to the guard, and you will be thrown into prison. Truly, I tell you, you will never get out until you have paid the last penny." Okay, so the first thing that I want to say for this lesson is that this entire Bible lesson today has a theme, and that theme is let it go. It's kind of like that, it's exactly like that Frozen song, let it go, just like that. We're going to start out, I'll explain that to you. Here we go. You shall not murder, and whoever murders shall be liable to judgment. But I say to you that if you are angry with a brother or sister, you will be liable to judgment. So Jesus here has taken the old scriptures, the old text of Judaism, and he is now forming them into something more for his new Christian community. So he is adding on to the Jewish laws and the rules that they have followed their entire lives. And he's adding on to them. And here we have him say that even if you are angry with a brother or sister, you will be liable to judgment. Okay, that does not mean, first of all, that if you have anger for somebody, you're going to be judged and you can go to hell. Like, that's not what this is about. What this is saying is that if you have anger that is lingering, if you hold on to anger constantly for another person, so if somebody has done something to you a long, long time ago and you are still holding anger against that person or for that person, that's the kind of anger we're talking about in this text. There is a difference between experiencing anger as the emotion that God created, that we all experience. That's the very normal emotion that people feel, versus an anger that you hold on to and like you use against the other person, and you look down on that other person because of the anger that you have. There is a huge difference between those two types of anger. And here, that's the anger that Jesus is talking about. The anger that we all experience, like, okay, for example, with COVID, a lot of my events and things for the youth and the children at the church were canceled. And I was angry about that. That is an emotion that is completely okay because God has created anger as an emotion. And I mean, it's natural to feel that. However, if I kept that anger and I used it to just hold on to and kind of, I hate this word, but like fester with that anger inside of me, that would not be okay. That's not what we're supposed to be doing. So in this text, when Jesus says, but I say to you that if you are angry with a brother or sister, you will be liable to judgment. We are talking about that lingering anger. So the theme of let it go kind of really shows in this text. We're going to continue on verse 27 through 30, and we will see again that theme of let it go throughout this next text. So this part, 27 through 30, it says, "You have heard that it was said, you shall not commit adultery. But I say to you that everyone who looks at a woman with lust has already committed adultery with her in his heart. If your right eye causes you to sin, tear it out and throw it away. It is better for you to lose one of your members than your whole body to be thrown into hell. And if your right hand causes you to sin, cut it off and throw it away. It is better for you to lose one of your members than for your whole body to go into hell." Okay, so here we have another instance where Jesus is taking a Jewish law and adding onto it, building onto it for his new Christian community. In this text, there is, again, a difference between one lust and another lust. There's a difference between the two. In this, it says, "But I say to you that everyone who looks at a woman with lust has already committed adultery with her in his heart." So the initial feeling of lust that everybody has, again, natural. We're supposed to have it. That's just how it goes. But if you are looking at someone with the intention of lusting after them, so if you are constantly looking at them, constantly seeking them, and putting them down and kind of turning them into like a sex object, if that's the way that you're using lust, that is incorrect. So again, it's that lingering lust, the lingering anger and the lingering lust that we are supposed to let it go. You are not supposed to look at a woman or a man or whatever with the intention of lusting after them. So like, for example, I'm not going to go and look at, or you're not going to go, whoever's not going to go and potentially, or purposefully, not potentially, purposefully look up images to lust after that person, or purposely, be like a stalker and watch somebody like with the intention of lust. Those initial feelings of lust, when you see somebody and you're like, oh, they're attractive, like that's okay. But, the lingering, like stalkery, pedophile kind of stuff, like that's the stuff that we're supposed to stay away from with this. And so when he says, "But I say to you that everyone who looks at a woman with lust or with the intention of lust has already committed adultery with her in his heart," that's what we're referring to here. That lust that you're looking with intention of lusting and lingering with that lust and holding on to it, harboring it, that's not okay. So I thought that those two things were interesting today. And that theme of let it go is, it has a place in the New Testament. It has a place in the New Testament for sure. There are a lot of instances when Jesus reminds us to let it go, to relax, to breathe, to just, it's fine, let it go. And I thought that maybe some people out there needed to be reminded of that. And, just breathe through it, let it go. Follow the Disney song, if that helps you at all. This is just why it stuck out to me today. I have the personality of holding on to things. I mean, a lot of people do, and I definitely am one of those people that, holds on to things and that holds on to my emotions, and I get all upset about stuff. And so this was really interesting for me to read and to kind of dive into. And I really liked exploring the difference between the correct anger that we should feel and that lingering anger that we should let go, and then that correct lust that it's okay to feel, and then that lingering lust that we should let it go. Like, so I thought it was really interesting. I hope this has been helpful for you guys, and I hope that y'all found it interesting as well. If you would like to dive into the chapter 5 even more, there are a lot of really cool things in here. Please let me know because I want to explain some of them to you. Reading the Bible without doing the research behind each section can really come off as confusing, and then sometimes you can interpret it incorrectly. And so as you're reading through chapter 5, if you're following along with me and with this Bible study, please make sure that you reach out to me so that I can walk you through some of the different ways to interpret things. Because I wouldn't want you to read something and get really confused and frustrated and close the book and that's it, I'm done. It is really hard to understand, and I don't understand all of it. But I can help, hopefully, and research, and maybe I know the answer. That would be cool because I did go to seminary. I hope I know some answers, but I definitely don't know all of them. But anyway, please feel free to reach out to me. It's really confusing, and I really don't want you to misinterpret things. So that was a long spiel. I just meant to say, please reach out if you want more details on chapter 5 and to go a little bit deeper. There is the rest of chapter 5 that we are not going to cover concerns divorce, oaths, retaliation, and love for your enemies. So those are some really big ones, some biggies. So if you have any questions on those, please let me know. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you will check in with me again soon. Don't forget, I post every Sunday and every Wednesday. So just hopefully stay up to date with me if you want. See you guys soon. Thanks. Bye.